Matt Gill. Matt Gill's hard to forget.
I think it was Matt that we always used to go, what? And then I think he something that he did with my daughter Amy when she was like 4 years old or something, or 5 years old, or like Amy Lou Who, or it was something like that. It was like along the lines of the what? Anyway,
Matt Gill is Hellboy. Did you ever watch Hellboy?
I know of it, but I don't. I have not watched it.
No. Well, watch the Hellboy trailer and just think about Matt Gill while you're doing it.
Okay.
I highly recommend. Highly recommend. So, we got something coming up today.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. So, what is going on? We, in just a couple of hours, 3 hours, we have a live event happening where we're doing an encore of last week's training, where we gave away my top 30 emails of all time PDF to everybody that was on this walkthrough training, and you get to benefit from that this week if you are available. So we are doing an email marketing training.
I get to be a part of this one.
That's right. Joshua's going to be there this time, which is great. Glad you're back on your feet, by the way.
Storms willing, right?
That's right. Yeah, unless the storms take you out, we'll be good to go. We're going to do a training where we're going to break down my top 30 emails of all time PDF. It's a swipe file. So you're going to be able to deploy these emails out to your list in order to make money today. And they're swipe and deploy, modify and deploy emails. This is from 17 years of email marketing. And these are some of my highest converting opens, clicks, and sales emails that could be converted into something that other people could use. I have a bunch of stuff that's crazy and wild and weird, and I'm the only person that could send it out and get away with it. These are templatable winners. Okay, these are long-time this is a multi-million-dollar email swipe file. You're going to get your hands on it, and I'm going to teach you the different types of emails. There are 4 different types of emails that we cover in this training. I'm going to teach you how they work. I'm going to teach you why they work. And I'm going to even teach you how you can begin writing your own emails of this style after you're done just using the swipe file, right? So it's not only are you going to have a really amazing fish dinner that I'm going to cook for you, but I'm going to teach you how to fish on top of it. So it's going to be really great. Joshua and I are both going to be there. We're going to be sharing some interesting stories. And Joshua, tell us a little bit about the title of today's live stream, because the tie-in is pretty astonishing.
Well, it's kind of how I discovered that not all email lists are created equal, and that just because you have an email list does not mean that it's going to be responsive, and does not mean that you can, count on making money unless and until, and this was the journey of me figuring this out with some help. Sean Casey really helped me we dissected it, what happened afterwards. Anyway, it was an experience where it was like, I had no idea that what was going to happen. And there was an experience where live without a net in front of a group of students where both Sean Casey and I did promotions, and one list was over 500,000 subscribers strong, email subscribers strong, and the other list was only 3,200 or 32,000. I say only, but so in all theory that it should be. You should be able to outdo a smaller list like that. And in fact, the opposite ended up happening. And that tiny list, by comparison to that big one, ended up doing 12.53 times better. And, with less people, with less, the whole Megillah. And that really sent me down like Alice in Wonderland, down the rabbit hole, and ultimately led to me creating the NPOD system to dissect what I had done accidentally and what we had learned from it, and so on. So this really underscores this idea that not all lists are created equal, and this doesn't hold true just to email lists, but really when we're talking about lists, we're not talking about your friends on Facebook,
and we're not talking about your contacts on Instagram or your followers on Instagram. We're not talking about your followers on LinkedIn. We are talking about people that you can directly send messages to who want to receive communication from you on a regular basis. And email is really the winner. It's the king. What are some other examples? Direct mail came before email. In the past and still today, you can do this with direct response radio ads, but you're still putting ads out there, and then you're building your own internal list. Might be a phone list, might be an email list, might be a direct mail list, but that's the third type, is the phone number list. And then to some extent, it's a little arguable because it can go away overnight and then just disappear, but it's like a instant messenger list, chatbot list. It's debatable whether that's really a list or not, because as long as you're in good standing with Facebook, then it's you know, and you have a like ManyChat account or whatever, it's a list. But if that goes away, then no longer is it a list, right? Hey, Michael Byrne, how's it going, man? From Gathering of the Titans, old school. It's been a long time since I heard that. How is it going? How have you been? And what the heck are you doing? Bring me up to speed, Michael.
You know, I just want to, some brain cells are starting to fire on all cylinders now. And, you know, what you're talking about basically is a phenomenon that is well known in direct response marketing for years, since the days of Claude Hopkins back in the, you know, the
decades.
Great Depression.
Decades.
And centuries.
Decades, yeah.
And it's a concept called hyper-responsives. And which simply states that, like, of your customer list, of your email list, of your whatever lists, your phone list, whatever your following is, that without doing anything different to program it in there, by default, about 4 to 5% of those people will become your what's known as hyper-responsives, right? And
assuming you have good stuff and people like it, like a percentage of your customers are just going to get obsessed with your work.
Right. And that's if you just let it happen and unfold. That's those, as Dan Kennedy used to say, and I'm kind of fond of it, even though it's kind of harsh, is those are the people that drink your Kool-Aid, right?
That's right.
On whatever subject you're, you know, talking about. And so you know, and it works the same with your subscribers. Like the 4 to 5% of them, you walk on water to them no matter what. So they're eager for your emails. They're looking forward to it. And, you know, generally speaking, now, of course, that's a law of averages, and it could be, you know, greatly reduced or higher. The thing that I discovered by accident is that there's a way to intentionally, by design, ramp up that hyper-responsive number so that it's not falling by default at 4 to 5%, but routinely in the 25, 30, 40% range, sometimes as high as 50%.
That's right.
Range. And that those numbers carry through to your open rates, to your click-through rates, to your buy rates, because of the way that you've built your list out. And that's what I mean by, like, there's not all email lists are created equal. But not all lists in general, not all customer bases are created equal. You'll see the same phenomenon unless you intentionally focus on this type of aspect to build it in there. You'll see that those numbers hold pretty true. Mm-hmm. It's kind of scary how accurate that 4 to 5% is, and like Telman, like you said earlier, assuming, of course, that you're you know, doing everything on the up and up, and that you're really making you know, making a difference, making an impact on people's lives.
That's right. That's right. And so when you're thinking about these different types of lists and the hyper responsives, and by the way, Michael, I do remember the Abernathys. Absolutely.
Me too.
And yeah, I hope that Chad does watch. And if you want to connect, just shoot me or Joshua a private message, and we can.
The Abernathys Jason and Chad were with us in Necker Island, weren't they?
At least once, if not twice, if not all 3 times. Yeah.
I've only been once, so.
Yeah. And so
The time that I stood up for you at when you got married.
that's right. That's
With
right.
really awesome wedding rings.
With can't make them. I'd have to make them out of beard hair now.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't have to hold them.
They were clean. They're clean.
Branson was the ring bearer. That was what was surreal about the whole thing.
That's right. That's right. It is weird having Sir Richard Branson as your ring bearer.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. All right. So let's see. What's up, Chad? Martin Wales, how's it going? Hey, Martin, I saw your platform assessment come in, by the way. Good to see you again, man. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Jason and Justin, exactly. Very, very, the Titan triathletes. Nice. Yeah, that'd be great, Michael. Martin says hyper responsives make life easier with bigger response to the same work. That's the point. Martin Wales has been around the direct response crew for a super long time. And yeah, you get it. You get it. So who here is a Kevin Kelly fan? Who reads any of Kevin Kelly's work?
I'm not familiar with him.
1,000 True Fans.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Duh. Yeah.
KK.org, I think. He's written a bunch of really good stuff, but one of the things that one of his pieces that really rang true for the marketing community and the internet entrepreneurial community is this idea of 1,000 True Fans. It's at least a decade old at this point and still rock solid. And there's an idea that if you find your 1,000 true fans, almost anyone can lead an extremely great life, have a really great living, an above average living, with 1,000 contributors who love your work and will consistently pay you to keep doing your work, meaning who buy everything you release, right? Or at least the majority of the stuff that you release and you create. 1,000 diehard fans gets you a full-time it gets you a full-time job, right?
Not only that, 1,000 of those true fans are you've crossed the momentum tipping point. You don't need 1,000, but once you get there, it's almost unstoppable.
That's right.
And I just dropped a link in our Restream area that it redirects to that 1,000 true fans report. That's so right. If you want to put it on the screen, or I can drop it in the various points if you want me to.
Sure. There's your link, guys. You have to type it in.
Goist/1,000 fans.
That's right. So go check that out if you haven't read it. Even if you have, honestly, I don't reread things very much, but that's something I've reread several times, and it always helps to recrystallize that in my mind.
Yeah, Martin's absolutely right. It is timeless, without a doubt.
That's right. And so if you guys want to build a list of hyper responsives, if you want to find your 1,000 true fans so that you have the right people to send your email to in the first place, then get on this training, because we're going to be talking about both sides to the coin, right? Not only growing your list and connecting with your list at a deep level by finding your platform and building your platform to talk to your fans, but how do you communicate with them once you're on your list? So you're going to be getting both sides of the coin today on the training in just a few hours. And you can join us for the training by going to the following link. Joshua, if you could throw that into the comments, it would be great. And I
did it inside Art of Email Marketing. Now I'll drop it on your page.
Great. And Michael says, we have 1,000 fans of our 100,000 person list. We've helped, but that we are not communicating with routinely yet. Best way to fire it up. The best way to fire it up, honestly, would be for us to get on a call and talk through what you've got. Because especially with 100,000 people, there are a lot of factors. It could be that you want to stay with your existing emailing service. It could be that you want to switch to a different one. What does it mean not to be communicating routinely? They haven't heard from you in 3 years, or you have an email that goes out once a month. Who are they? Are they super professional? What are you kind of selling to them? At the end of the day, my general recommendation is start communicating with them more frequently. But if you really want to talk it through, I'm more than happy to do that, and I have some spots on the calendar. So I would say definitely register for the training later today. And in the meantime, we're going to be direct messaging anyway, Michael, and I will give you my best stuff. Whatever it is that you need in order to get going, I'm more than happy to chat with you about that. But I don't want to give you a blanket statement on what the best way is, because there's no
and
best
just don't assume that on raw numbers of 100,000K list that you actually do have still 1,000 true fans. You may have had at one point in time, but you said you're not communicating with it routinely. So it's all about re-engaging them, re-energizing it, and then and coming up with a custom design plan that will be useful based upon what actually is the situation, which has a ton of different variables, I'm sure.
That's right. That's funny. Martin says, replying to Michael, Michael, re-engage and call Telman. Awesome. And then Michael says, we've had events for them and helped one-on-one these veterans. So these are veterans that you're helping, and emails about monthly, not really calling for engagement. Okay, yep, top soon. Yeah, so I mean, off the top of my head, again, we can talk about this. Off the top of my head, I would probably start doing a weekly webinar for these guys, especially now, right? I mean, whatever it is, I don't really even know what it is you're selling at this point. But what I do know is that if you want more personal and direct connection with them, like starting to do a weekly webinar on a topic that they would find helpful and meaningful, it would not only give you, and have the webinar be a headshot webinar primarily. Don't have the webinar be a slideshow or whatever. I would really have it be about the personal connection, because these guys are lonely. I'm making some assumptions right now. No, it's in the middle of COVID.
I know. I'm just laughing because it reminds me of like the what used to be the internet back in the wild west days when I first got started in 96, 97. They're lonely, and it truly was, like teenage kids that were lonely.
Right. They were just spending all their time on their computer away from everybody else. Now everybody's getting
right? Carpal tunnel syndrome. Yeah,
exactly. And Michael says, amen on the webinar, like an EO, YPO for veteran business owners. That's hot, man. I mean, there's some cool stuff. I mean, if you want to get in touch, let's talk about that, because there's so much cool stuff that you could do, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to make it happen, Nice. Well, thanks for tuning in and being so interactive and throwing so many comments in as well, Michael. It's great to reconnect after so long. Let's see. So, you guys can go to register for the training. Go to www.etgworkshops. I'm putting that in the comments. www.etg for Escape the Grind. EscapeTheGrindWorkshops.com. etgworkshops.com. to register for today's training and get the PDF swipe file of a top 30 emails of all time. We're going to teach you how to use them. We're going to teach you how to deploy them. And we're going to teach you the difference between a list that makes $1,000 and the list that makes $12,000 when you send the same email.
Yeah. Okay? Same effort. Same
effort. Exactly. Yeah. How can you
actually less?
Not only less, but a much smaller list. How can you make 12 times the revenue from a list that's 1/5 the size? Was it 1/5?
32 divides into 500,000. What?
More than 10.
More, yeah.
So I mean, there's a double multiplier going on in here. There's an exponential effect given the size of the list, but there are ways to do this. And many of the ways that you do it are not what you would expect. Okay, these are counterintuitive methods that work like crazy. So, awesome, Martin. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, Martin, what are you up to these days? Are you running your own business? Are you working with someone else? Are you in a transition period? What are you working on? Because I know that you've done a bunch of different stuff. And I'm curious what you're selling, who you're selling it to, and whether it's your own company or somebody else's. And if anybody else has any questions on email marketing, or what's going on with today's training, I highly encourage you to chime in and ask your questions. We'd love to hear from you.
Good morning, Gene.
What is going on, Gene? Gene's rocking it. Building her list. Building her group. It's going good.
Yeah, boy.
It's going good. She's not a boy. She's not a boy.
It's NWA.
I'm just messing with you. NWA. All right. I think that's all we need to do today.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to the workshop together and making that happen and actually being able to be a participant in this one.
As am I. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you in 2.5 hours at 2:00 Eastern. What does Martin say? Martin says, transition, open to opportunities, writing copy, editing books, business coaching, and engineering sales offices. And Gene says, ha 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 ha. Nice. All right, everybody. See you this afternoon. It's going to be awesome. And in all seriousness, get your hands on the swipe file, etgworkshops.com. It will pay you over and over and over again to learn these principles. Shooting rabbits while hunting bear. Right.
Does that mean you're chasing white rabbits?
Yeah, I don't know what it means. I think that means something totally different.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I'm not familiar with that. Maybe he's really hunting.
Maybe he is. All I know is that if you're chasing white rabbits, it's generally not a good idea to be tripping on acid while you're on our webinars, but you might come up with some interesting ideas.
I'm not going to say nobody's done it. I'm going to say that I've never done it.
That's right. All right, everybody. Have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you soon. Over
Take care. Bye.